Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got some pretty great stuff as far as price predictions since the entire market just took a huge dump over the last couple days. So we're going to take a look at what experts have to say. So first up, we have a video from TokenMetrics. This is Ian Balina and Bill Noble, who is a former Goldman Sachs employee. Also, top cryptocurrency analyst says Bitcoin may plunge below $1,000, slams Ripple and XRP. So for everybody who's an investor in Ripple and XRP, such as myself, this is always interesting to see, especially like where things are going to going as far as Bitcoin and the rest of the market. Also, another Bitcoin price prediction, 3,500 is a new bottom. And we'll take a look at something else, such as Mike Novogratz saying that confidence in Bitcoin has evaporated and his price prediction. And finally, we're going to go over the scam of the day. So thanks everybody for getting rid of these scams. Although I'm sure over the last couple of days, we've gotten rid of scams, as we've also gotten rid of potentially 50% of all profits because the market keeps going down. Kind of a bummer. Let's break into it. So first up, I want to say a couple days ago, I did a review of a type of AI algorithm that does a bunch of trading, and I didn't want to give away the name because I was just evaluating it, and I wanted you guys to evaluate it with me. Unfortunately, someone said, you know what that is? That's TokenMetrics and da-da-da-da. Well, yeah, thanks, genius. I didn't want people to know about it until we were able to evaluate it because I didn't want people to, get into the actual program. Now, here's the thing. Most of you would not do that, right? You wouldn't just say, oh, well, Digital Asset News is talking about this thing, I'm going to go buy it. It's not the point. The point is that there's some people who are like, oh, well, I see on this channel, I like this channel. If he's using it, then it must be good, so I'm going to sign up for it. So I'm not telling you to sign up for TokenMetrics. I wanted us all to evaluate it first before I went down that road. Unfortunately, someone had, the wise idea to go, hey, that's TokenMetrics. What are you talking about? What's going on? Da-da-da. I'm like, God dang, just calm down. So, yes, it was TokenMetrics, and I am evaluating it. I do not have an affiliate link. I'm not affiliated with the company itself. I wanted to see if it actually was worthwhile to even mention, not mention it, but to even put out the information. So I will say this. It was, I've looked at the website so far. You've looked at the website. We're going to go over it again. So one thing I did like was that they sent out an email and it talks about all the different things that you should be aware of and what's going on. The second thing I liked was they did a live stream and it was like 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 12 minutes, and we're not going to go over that. But there's a snippet of it's a minute and 12 seconds, and we're going to go over that in a little bit. And it just talks about a price prediction and what was going to happen, and I'll be damned if the whole thing didn't come true. Pretty amazing. And this was a live stream done last week. So first of all, let's just quickly go over the email, and it's solid advice, right? And it says here, the best way to navigate these times, remember these 4 rules. Be greedy when others are fearful, have cash ready for bargains, invest for the long term, and buy assets that can survive a bear market and recession. And then the last quote it has here is from Howard Marks. Buying something for less than its value. In my opinion, this is what it's all about. The most dependable way to make money. Buying at a discount from intrinsic value and having the asset's price move towards its value doesn't require serendipity. It just requires that market participants wake up to reality. When the market's functioning properly, value exerts a magnetic pull on price, and I can only totally agree there. So right now, again, like I say, have fundamentally anything changed with Bitcoin? Did it get hacked? Did someone find out that it's a huge scam, or did they say this is a huge scam? Did Ethereum come out and just say, sorry, it's all going to collapse because it doesn't work, so we apologize? Or are all these developers still working on the same project to make it better, faster, cheaper? I think the latter is exactly what we're going for. So right now, the markets don't reflect the price, and that's just how it is. So you have to decide for yourself, and like I said about this yesterday, what do you want to do here? If you don't believe that cryptocurrency or digital assets are the future, then you should get out, because you can only go as far as you actually believe in something, right? If you're just in it totally for the money and you're like, I don't really believe in it, but I'll put some money in, then you're going to get wrecked because your confidence is going to get shaken. But if you believe that at some point in the future, and I'm not talking like 100 years in the future, I'm talking like we're talking like 2 to 3 years, that things will go up and they'll go up exponentially, and that these developers are doing the good things, and that these projects are going to change the world. If you believe that, you have to understand fundamentally nothing has changed. It's just that we've got a coronavirus. I know people don't like, other YouTubers don't like to say that, but I don't really care because it's the truth. It's a virus. It's called coronavirus. Why not say it? And that's it. So real quick, let's take a look at, there was two things actually, two more things about this email that struck me, was pretty interesting. And that the first one was talking about, let me find out where it was. Bitcoin, yeah. The Bitcoin safe haven narrative. The Bitcoin safe narrative is not relevant for the time being. Like we have repeatedly said on our TokenMetrics live streams, this narrative was false. Bitcoin is a safe haven from political and currency risk, and that makes a lot of sense, right? When we have these governments that starts to do land grabs and take all the money back and take people's whatever assets, then Bitcoin is a great safe haven because you can't take Bitcoin. You can't take Bitcoin unless, I guess, you torture somebody for their 12-word key phrase or pass or private keys. But outside of that, I mean, it is exactly what they say it is. You can't take it. As far as like currency risk, if you're in like, let's say like we talked about this yesterday, some type of country where they do like massive printing, like the US. No, seriously, like let's say an African country where they did like enormous amount of printing and you had to have a wheelbarrow of of bills to pay for bread. That could be a great safe haven. It says here, it's not a safe haven for stocks. The coronavirus crisis is not a political or currency risk. Exactly. It is something way beyond that, something we haven't seen in a very long time. And right now, I know people hate to hear this, but cash is king. If you're in a quarantine city or country even, you need cash. And you don't need Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that. That does not pay for your food and essentials, right? And people say, yeah, there's a debit card to use for cryptocurrency. Sure, whatever. But I'm just telling you right now, if things collapse even more, cash is still king. And that's how it goes. So, but the long-term effects of it are likely to start political and currency stressors. We think this will come in the future. Now, do I think that Bitcoin later on will be a great store of value? Sure. But right now, not a lot of people see it as a fantastic store of value. They still see the old guard as gold. Is it better than gold? No, because you can't just pick up gold and travel across the country, right? Heavy as hell. You can't really do it. People can steal it quite easily. It's not fungible. You can't, segment unless you melt it down, I suppose. But yeah, I think that later on it will be. Right now, this is the narrative we have. And the last piece on this email, which is pretty interesting, was, let me find it. And this is a great point. Employing all of your capital at this point might not be ideal, as it could be a falling knife. A dollar cost averaging strategy during the bear market makes sense, especially for those who are not professionals, such as myself. I don't know if you're a professional trader. I'm not. So I dollar cost average in. Actually, it was kind of funny because last night is when my automatic dollar cost averaging got kicked in from Coinbase. I had picked up $25 worth of Ethereum and $25 worth of Bitcoin and $25 worth of XRP. So it just happens in the background every week. I always forget the day and then off it goes. So later on, I don't know what's going to happen today. I don't think no one does. No one knows the future. So maybe Ethereum goes from 120 down to 50. I have no idea. And then next week it's only at 70. Well, my dollar cost averaging gets kicked in again. And every single week it just goes on like that. And people are like, why are you only putting 25 bucks in? It's because over the course of a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or whatever it is, I'm still going to buy. That's just how it is. If I could have dollar cost average in at, let's say in 2011 for Bitcoin, and I just put 25 bucks in every week from 2011 to now, you know how much money I have? A boatload. So we don't know where it's going to go. I see it as going up, but maybe you see it differently. And remember, if you don't believe that it's going to happen, you got to get out. And that's about it. So let's move on to this live stream. So again, this is 2 hours and 16-minute live stream. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but it was interesting for the first, looks like, well, about a minute and a half or so. And there's this gentleman on the right. So Ian Balina, some people love him, some people don't like him, but he was the one that did a lot of ICO stuff back in 2017, made a lot of money. And he started that TokenMetrics. And again, I am not an affiliate. I was just evaluating it. I wish the guy wouldn't have said, or the guy, I don't know who it was, if it was a guy or gal, but I wish they wouldn't have said exactly who it is. So now I got to say what it is. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm not an affiliate. I don't believe in it wholeheartedly because I haven't evaluated it. So don't go in there and go, well, you know, Dan says it's great or evaluates it, so it must be good. I'm going to buy into it. That's not what I'm saying. Just want to say that again in case someone comes back at me and is like, hey, you recommended that. No, I didn't. I just got outed by somebody who said it's TokenMetrics. Damn it. Anyhow, so Bill Noble, so I'm like, well, who's this guy, right? And this is who this guy is, Bill Noble, Chief Investment Officer for TokenMetrics. He's a former Goldman Sachs financial market thought leader from 2004 to 2016. Been a producer, usable technical research, also worked for Charles Schwab and Morningstar, so blah, blah, blah. So he's what I would consider an expert in the financial game. He's been in the game, so at least he's got something to say. And this was pretty eye-opening to me. And remember, this was streamed live on March 8th. So when they start talking about things, think about what just happened the last couple of days. So here we go. Let me turn up the volume. Ba, 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 ba.
Oh, how's the market?
All right, so let's begin with the key point for crypto. This market, the crypto market, is being driven by the legacy crash. That would be stocks, oil, junk bonds, okay? It's just a flat-out crash. Goldman thinks oil could go to $20 a barrel, okay? And it's going to be down another $10 when it opens today. So legacy is crashing, and the reason it is, and we'll make it into a joke later, but we're looking at a complete stoppage of all economics for up to 90 days. That's what's currently being priced in. Now, also what's currently going to get priced in is a stock market shutdown, because it's going to become an embarrassment to the U.S. administration because they were too slow to react. So the only way that they can stop the embarrassment is to halt trading. Now, that brings me to a simple thing for crypto. Why is crypto down so much this weekend? Well, because it's the only thing open. It's the only thing that they could sell or short, right? So if they put a whole bunch of pressure on things like Bitcoin futures and things like that, that's going to spill over into the rest of the market.
Okay, so quick question, Bill. When was the last time the government stopped trading on
9/11?
9/11?
Amazing, right? So this was what was predicted on Sunday, March 8th. What happened on March 9th? What's been happening? Market closed, just like they said. So pretty interesting stuff. And then now I'm going to put a link to this in the description. You can watch the whole thing. Pretty eye-opening, but really it goes to say, like, look, we have to mentally harden ourselves and be like this. It's going to be 90 days. 90 days, I think 90 days at a minimum of a bear market or even a super bear market where everything just plunges. So you have two options here. You could sit back, just relax, don't do anything, and stay away from the markets, or you can follow it and start to pick up little bits and pieces, just like we saw in the email before where it talks about these types of events are the good times to actually buy because the intrinsic value doesn't reflect the price. So wherever you want to go, it's up to you. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Every single week, I'm going to buy, and maybe I might even increase that $25 to a little bit more. Not for sure, but I will tell you this, I am guaranteeing you 100% that I will keep buying. Also, for me, I just want to let you guys know that I will be gone next week. I will be in Brazil. I had this trip planned like 6 months ago, and I'll be goddamned if I miss this trip because of a coronavirus. So I will take all the necessary precautions. Should be okay. I think there's very few cases right now in Brazil. Who knows what's going to happen when we get there? But heck, You could catch coronavirus tomorrow just going to the grocery store. So you can't live your life in fear. You got to get out there, stay as healthy as you can, wash your hands, cover your mouth, all that good stuff, and off we go. But I will put that link in the description. And last thing I will say was that, look, institutional investors are here. They are playing in the game. And I said in the notes, I said they sold us out. They didn't really sell us out. They just sold out because they had to, because they have people above them. And it's like, sell everything. And they sure as hell did. So we'll see what happens. But in the description below, let me know what you think. If you think that this is a good prediction for 90 days, you think it's going to clear up in a week, where do you think cryptocurrency market is going to go later on? So we'll move on to the next stories, and we're going to take a look at exactly where some people in the game think it definitely is going to go. So, speaking of analysts, top cryptocurrency analyst says Bitcoin may plunge below $1,000, slams Ripple and XRP. So, just so you guys know, here's what I'm invested in. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Chainlink, EOS, and Cardano. So if I seem biased, it's because I am. I've invested in these. You try not to be as biased as you possibly can, but it's kind of tough when you have your money into it. So when I talk about these things, you just have to understand, where I'm coming from. All right. So this is all about veteran trader and cryptocurrency analyst Peter Brandt. So Peter Brandt, I did a segment on him yesterday, and he was talking about the Bitcoin price going to 5,500, and sure as heck it did. And then we took a look at his other price predictions. He was the analyst that predicted after, this was in January 2018, that Bitcoin was going to correct to 80%, and it sure as heck did. He's made some other predictions, and he's been in the game for, I think, 30 plus years. He's got a whole team around him. I respected guy, apparently. And he's been right a lot. So I like, when Peter Brandt talks, I tend to listen, even as painful as it could potentially be. So here's what he says. At the start of 2020, Brandt said the king coin, Bitcoin, was showing signs of a new parabolic rally to 100 grand. But as the coronavirus black swan event pushes the crypto industry into a downturn, the analyst now warns that Bitcoin may plunge below $1,000. And this is Twitter tweets. He says, this is from G7. This was March 12th. Yesterday? I always forget the date. Yesterday. He says, hey, you call Bitcoin 5,500. Just curious if this is still the bottom, or as things change now, Corona is kicking in. And he says, if I interrupt the charts without bias, I would say sub 1,000. So that's a bummer. Real bummer. Brent says he always believed that Bitcoin would go to the moon or go to zero. And these days he's thinking zero is more likely. He says, all along, I have stated my belief that there was a 50% chance Bitcoin is going to 100 grand and a 50% chance to go to zero, or literally zero. Once we broke through 7,500, I placed my bets on zero. So the question I have for Brandt is this a bet, like if you had to place your bet, like place the bet as like, I'm going to bet the whole farm on this, or is this like another 50-50 bet going to zero? Or maybe a 70-30 or a 60-40 split. So I actually sent him a tweet, and let's see if he responds. I actually sent him one yesterday. He responded to that one. So curious to see what he has to say. Also, Brent also has a warning for Ripple investors or XRP investors, as the value of the third largest digital currency plummets alongside the rest of the crypto. I think it went down to like 11 cents yesterday, which is super crazy low. And it's pretty funny. He says, I'm breaking a promise. I said I would never again post a chart of XRP. And I think the reason why he doesn't post charts of XRP, because he gets attacked so hard from the XRP community, which you gotta understand, man. This guy's just, he's an analyst. So this is what he sees. Don't attack him or crush him for what he sees. It's what he believes. If you believe in it, well, that's a different story. But, don't gang up on Peter. He's just trying to give some looky. Anyhow. He says, but I thought you all might be interested in what it means to have while space below. And he's talking about, hey, look, here's where we're at right now. Here's where we came from. Which, again, not a TA person, but yeah, there's always going to be room to go down. But that's for everything. That's for gold. That's for stocks. That's for any kind of cryptocurrency or digital asset. It always starts at very low, and then here we are. So we'll see what happens. I personally believe that, yes, I think that XRP will go farther down than 11 cents. I do. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that what I'm going to do, which is try to try to take a walk, take a break, and not worry about my portfolio, because I believe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we're going to look back at this and be like, wow, remember that time? And we all got through. Look, there is no shortcuts. There is no easy way out. You have to go through all the turmoil and the hardship to get to the prize. And if you think that you can just come in here and drop $1,000 and not have to deal with the psychological factors of getting through these bear and huge dips, then you're sadly mistaken. You have to be tough. And I think this is like a proving ground, right? To have ice in your veins. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. Now it's up to you. So in the comments below, what are you going to do in the next 90 days? Are you going to keep buying, or are you out? Let me know in the comments below. And last thing I'll say is Brandt here says he's accused Ripple, the largest holder of XRP, of market manipulation. He says another way to look at it is that almost everyone who has bought XRP since May 2017 has a loss. True, that would be me. I do have a bias against. XRP is not a true crypto, manipulated. My disdain is for those for whom crypto is a religion. I see this to be the case more for XRP than any other coin. And I gotta agree. I don't know if, well, no, I can't really agree with him totally, because the biggest religious people are Bitcoin maximalists. Let's just be honest. I think that Peter, but that's because I live in the YouTube space. If you notice that my Twitter game is weak. I don't have many followers. I think it's a couple hundred or something. I have no idea, but I don't really use Twitter to its potential. Peter's on there all the time. I can see he's got a lot of followers, so he gets attacked by that XRP army. But for me, in the comment section, it's mostly Bitcoin maximalists who really get pissed off. And again, this is the only space I can think of where like you buy something and all of a sudden you're lockstep with everybody else. You know, I don't go out and buy a Nike shoes and be like, Nike's the best and it's the only thing I'll ever got. And if you got Adidas, you suck. That's kind of like how it is. It's weird, but that's what it is. Anyhow, moving on. Bitcoin price prediction, 3,500 new bottom. And this is just a quick, another type of analyst. All he says here, has Bitcoin already reached the bottom? The 3,600 level can be considered the bottom, as there was huge buying volume here. So it went to 3,600. Investors said, wow, that's a pretty great deal. Bought up. And now I think we're at, I don't know, 5,200, 5,500. Let me see. Where are we? I'm just going to open up CoinStats real quick and take a look at it. 5,000. Okay, so 5,000, not too bad. It says, based on the daily chart, one can consider the current situation to be a market dump rather than the start of continued decline. It is important to pay attention to the closing daily candle. If it closes with a long wick, there is every chance for Bitcoin to return to 8,000 by the end of March. In addition, the main line of Bollinger Band indicator is located at that level. Bitcoin is trading at 53.50 at press time, so it's gone down a little bit. Now, this is to all my TA people. What the heck was that? Obviously, I don't know what that is, so if you could translate that for me, that is fantastic. Let me know in the comment section if that's any remote possibility of being true, because that would be the only positive view there is on Bitcoin right now in the short term. Long term, I'm still bullish. Moving on. Bitcoin fate to hit gold soon, sell-off coming, macroeconomist. This is from macroeconomist Henrik Zeberg. And he talks about gold. So macroeconomist Henrik Zeberg warns that a similar sell-off that has made the Bitcoin price crash down to 3,900 on Thursday is soon going to strike gold as well. And let me just tell you this. I am not rooting for gold to go down. I'm not rooting for Peter Schiff to lose everything. If Peter Schiff makes it, fantastic, good for him. But it is important to note that not everything can keep going up. So I don't want people to have this one-sided thing like, oh, well, gold goes up, so I need to invest in gold like mightily. That's not the case, and we're going to see why. So moving forward, Zeberg points out that gold bugs are celebrating their victory over Bitcoin holders. However, the economist says a similar sell-off is imminent for gold as well. Cash is king at the moment, he tweets, while noting that Bitcoin and gold are both going to crash during the deflation. But this is the interesting part. Despite gold providing liquidity when it becomes scarce, it is still going to be sold off and drop below the bottom as of 2015, or the 2015 low prices. Back then, an ounce of gold was worth around 1,000. per ounce. The price at the moment amounts to around 1,600 or 1,579 per ounce. However, the economist adds that XAU, because it's gold, will not find a bottom during the next few months. Gold will not see bottom for a few months to come. Deflation playing out with major liquidity storage. That got me to thinking, well, what's the gold price today? Because I'm curious, how bad was it? Holy smokes. Ooh, so it's really dropping. It was at 1595, down to 1554. Today you got a percent change of 2%. Man, that'd be sweet. 2% drop, nothing, kid. But over the last 30 days, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, wow, 20 years, 450% in 20 years. But the last 6 months, up 5%, which, you know, Peter Schiff has a point as far as the safe haven type of thing. People do get into it for a safe haven part, but in all honesty, I don't see it. I see a lot of places, if you need cash, cash is still king. So I expect the same thing to happen with gold. Moving on. Next up, Mike Novogratz says confidence in Bitcoin has evaporated. If you're not familiar with Mike Novogratz, he's got a Bitcoin hedge fund, a cryptocurrency hedge fund that he leads up. And he was the biggest cheerleader for Bitcoin. But here he's talking about, hey, confidence is shaken. So in this article, it says confidence in Bitcoin has evaporated, but it's not really what he said. And he said it kind of, but what he really said was that everything has confidence shaken. So he says Bitcoin was always a confidence game. All of crypto is, and it appears global confidence in just about anything has evaporated. What brings it back to Bitcoin? I'm not sure, but I will tell you this. So Mike Novogratz has a hedge fund. What's it called? Galaxy Digital, I think. Galaxy Digital, right? So when he starts talking about, hey, this is a problem, we've lost a lot of confidence in not just Bitcoin, but globally with stocks and stocks, essentially. Bonds actually gone up. So that doesn't benefit him to say those things if he is a hedge fund manager at Galaxy Digital, or that's his own hedge fund. So why would he say it? If he said it, it doesn't benefit him. It's because he probably believes it and he's putting the information out there. So according to Novogratz, global confidence has all but evaporated. Unfortunately for Bitcoin proponents, the top cryptocurrency failed to serve as a hedge against the volatility and blah, 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 blah. Right. So again, not a store of value, as we can see, especially for a black swan event like the coronavirus. And then it goes to talk about his $1,000 next. So Mike Novogratz didn't say 1,000, but he does say it's going to be a bear market and things are going to decrease. So if you look at all the stories that we've looked at today, I can tell you, if you have to look at it, things are going to sell off. People are going to continue to sell off. Things are going to be negative for a while. But as time goes on, I truly believe that they will return. But my question is, again, what do you think? What do you think about Mike Novogratz saying this? Do you think it's just some kind of 3D chess he's playing to bump up Bitcoin in his hedge fund, or what's going on? So that's it for today's stories. I know they're not very positive, but you have to understand, I have to give you the information as I see it and not just give you a bunch of hopium. When things are going up, I'll tell you, hey, or things I think will go up, I'm going to tell you, hey, it's going up because of this. This is what I see, is what's going on. But when things suck, I got to tell you it sucks. And today's one of those days. So thanks for sticking with me through the rants. Really appreciate it. And that's it for this segment. If you got time, stick with me. Let's go over the scam of the day, which only takes a couple of minutes. So, scam of the day. If you're new to the space, you picked a hell of a time to get in. This is a great buying opportunity. But you got to understand that these types of cryptocurrency, there's a lot of scams going on out there. And if you ever have a doubt, just contact the official website. So if you think Ripple's giving away XRP, contact Ripple. Email and say, hey, you guys giving away XRP? They're going to tell you no. Hey, Binance. Hey, OKX. Hey, Gemini. Hey, whoever. Are you guys giving away free money? They're going to tell you no. So just go to the official website. Always ask. Second of all, we've done a pretty good job of getting rid of the scammers. So thanks, everybody. But I will say this, there's a little bit more work that needs to be done. So I believe, even after this junk event that's happening, coronavirus, I do believe that the markets will rebound, people will get in, and they will FOMO in eventually. Not sure if it's going to be 2020. Might be 2021 now. So as people get in, we need to let these scammers know this is our territory. You're not going to come in here and screw people out of their money. And if one person gets screwed out of their money, they tell 10, 10 tells 1,000, and so on. So we have to protect our community. So in every comment section, or I'm sorry, in the description section of every one of my videos, there's going to be a link. It's going to say Scam of the Day. You're going to click on that link. It's going to take you to this handy dandy spreadsheet. You're going to click on the last link here because everything else has been removed. So let's click on this. Let's see what's going on. So first up, this one. First of all, what are we looking for? We're looking to see if this is a scam. And just because Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House, not his kid, it's probably not him, and all these people say it's scams, it may not be a scam. Maybe there's a bunch of haters. And so we're looking for asymmetrical giveaways. And what we're looking for is stuff like this. If you send 1 Bitcoin, you'll be airdropped 5 Bitcoin. If you send 20 ETH, you'll be airdropped 100 ETH. And this is from Binance. So easy enough. Just contact Binance and say, hey, Binance, you giving away free Bitcoin? They're going to tell you no, and that's a scam if you don't believe me. And yeah, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to downvote it, first of all. And second of all, this is the last thing we're going to do, is we're going to report it. And real quick, sometimes the scammers hide the report button, so just click the 3 dots. There it is, report. Spam or misleading, choose one. It's a scam and fraud. And next, and this is a scam. Exclamation point. And we report. And that's it. That's all you got to do. That helps out me and helps out the entire community, and you can feel good because you can't feel good about the prices today. It's nothing to laugh at. But if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And that's it for today. So if you like those types of videos, there's going to be a couple coming up on your left and right. I don't know what they are because they're curated for your viewing pleasure. So thanks again for sticking with me, and I'll see you on the next one.